What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to take the time to just shop my stash again. I've really been enjoying using my products, as I've talked to you guys in the last couple of videos that I've had the time to get up on the YouTube. Why, of course, is the sun trying to play me in this one moment? We're gonna be right here. So for today's makeup look, I'm using old and new, and I'm just going ahead and thoroughly talking about all of the items and just putting them together to make this makeup look. I really had a lot of fun doing it, and I have a busy day ahead of me. I have been up for quite a few hours now, but I still have so much that I need to get done today. Today is my day to get things done for the week. Otherwise, I just don't have the time in the other days of the work week and otherwise just to get anything done, whether it's home or out errands. So I will be going ahead and cleaning up all of my plants. They need to get cleaned. So in case you're interested, stay tuned. I will be filming that hopefully so you guys can see how I clean up my plants, because they have been very, very badly neglected as of the last couple of months, unfortunately. And so I really want to go ahead and clean them up, get them ready, because we are now getting closer to winter, and this is the time where they really don't grow that much. So I want them to look clean and kind of full in their current states. And then I will probably be doing some Christmas errands, so maybe I'll take the time to bring my camera and film some of that as well. But first things first, we got to get this makeup look on my face, and that'll be filmed in a point where the sun is not playing me, so you guys will see it hopefully, and hopefully the audio and the visual will be good, improved. Definitely let me know down below how you feel about this video. As always, give it a huge thumbs up if you liked it, or give it a huge thumbs down if you didn't. No matter either way, I appreciate you guys taking time to interact with me, watching my content, and let's just go ahead and dive on in. Okay, let's just dive right on in. I'm not gonna do a long intro. I don't have it in me. Your girl has been up since 6 and it is roughly 10. So I have been doing a lot. Skincare has sat on my face for about 4 hours now, and then I got sidetracked, as I tend to do. So let's just go ahead and dive on in. I decided to pick up a bunch of things from my collection, whether they were new and I haven't given you guys a formal review, or they're old favorites. A lot of them are relatively affordable, and in this day and time, affordable is key. So I'm just gonna talk probably, but I will talk about the items as I go, and I will do as I did in my last Get Ready With Me and have the information on the screen for you guys so you guys can easily follow along. I will also go ahead and make a Shop to Know It. Is that the site? I believe it's Shop to Know It. I will make a collage of all of these items so that they're easier access for you guys to shop. That way, if you don't look into the description box, it works that way. I will also, if I can remember, try my absolute best to just go ahead and link everything down there as well. So easy access for everything, so that's easy for you. I just put on the e.l.f. gripping primer. This is an old favorite. If you did not know, this is the dupe for the Milk Power Grip Primer. It's very good. I find that this one is actually stickier than the Milk, so depending on your preferences, there you go. I really don't use that much of this product, which is why I still have quite a bit, but I do enjoy it nonetheless. One of the favorite items that I've picked up from e.l.f. since moving to North Carolina is actually this foundation. This is their Soft Glam Satin Foundation, and I'm just gonna actually apply it with another e.l.f. product, which is their sponge, their beauty sponge. I actually just wet this and just pulled this out the packaging, so it's gonna take a little while for it to be at optimum use for me, but I do find that this is a very, very good sponge. I think I just moved my Singe sponge to my everyday stash, and as I'm trying to kind of get more into the swing of things here on my channel, I wanted to just have a sponge over here for easy access. As you can see, I have my bonnet on, mainly because I was doing a whole bunch of stuff in the house, like chores and meal prepping and stuff like that. And when I'm doing that, I just don't think I need to look all done up. But I probably will be going back out and about. Just depends on when a friend comes over, because she's going to be taking something off my hands to pick up those items, because there was an item that I saw at Target's store yesterday. I went to a specific Target store and it was on clearance for like $13. It was a basket. And that basket looked like it would be the perfect size for me to fit the base of my tree in, and just to hide that bottom part, because I have a very small tree. I have like one of those 3-foot size trees. It's perfect for me. I live by myself, so I don't need a bigger tree. And I usually don't have family here. We'll see if they come here this year. Then maybe I'll decide I need to get a bigger tree. But for now, I love my little 3-foot tree. And yes, I already have my tree put up. It is right now November 7th, and I put her up days ago. Okay, I need the good vibes, and that's usually you can tell when it's been a rough year for me when I put my tree out. Literally the year I bought my tree, I needed something happy, so I went ahead and picked her up, and ever since I have used her, which is good. It wasn't like a good emotion type purchase and then I no longer use it. I have been using it every year and putting it out and everything, but this year has just been a lot. It's been a lot. I told you guys that in my last Get Ready With Me, but besides the point, I got distracted per usual. e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation. It applies beautifully. This is literally one of my favorite foundations that I have in my collection currently. It gives a nice medium finish, and it does give a very satin finish. If you are somebody who is oily, combination, or even dry, I think that this works for everybody. It just depends on your preferences on finish, what you would need to do after. So for me, I like a very satin finish, so I don't actually powder all too much when I use this foundation. I can, but I try not to because I love the finish that it provides. I know for some people they really love a matte finish, which makes sense, especially if you want something to last for a very long time, which I do when I go out and about with my friends. So then I will go for more of a matte finish so that I know it will last and I don't look crusty dusty halfway through. But otherwise, I like to go for a satin finish, and it just works beautifully. And I find that this Tower 28 concealer works beautifully with it as well. It gives a very kind of skin-like satin finish as well. And overall, this is one of my favorite kind of ways that my base has come together. I really love this ultimate finish like this. And I find that I don't have to rush to powder. Now, will I powder? Yes. Don't get me wrong. Your girl needs to powder at minimum my under eyes, because I don't know, I've always had creepy under eyes, but I feel like 31 has really made them creepy crawly. So I will be using a new product. I don't know if I've reviewed this officially on my channel. Things have just been everywhere, you know. So who knows if I reviewed it, but this is the Fenty, just dug my hand into her. This is the Fenty Beauty Brighten Fix Powder in Banana. So I've already gone through one Fenty powder that was similar to this. It was I think it was called Invisiblot, or Invisiblot may have been the name. I don't really know. But either way, I already have gone through one of these, and I just wanted to see if this was just a colored version of it. As you can see, I set that side. Let me actually just go ahead and be a good reviewer and set all of this side so you guys can see what it looks like. I typically will leave my cheeks alone because I like to powder, if I feel like I need to powder, my cheek area after I've gotten my cream bronzer, blush, and highlighter on. But as you can see, I don't find that this has made that side of my face look overly chalky or anything like that. I do prefer to reach for a yellow or banana colored powder because I find I have a slight yellow undertone, and I find that it just gives the type of brightening that I want, but it doesn't make it look unnatural on my skin tone and my type of skin as well. This powder in the type of skin, for me, this powder works great for my type of skin. I am combination oily, in case you did not know. I am oily in my T-zone, pretty much normal on the perimeter if I'm doing my skincare, and sometimes I'm just not doing my skincare, if we're being honest. So I find that this really does a good job at catching all the oils that I needed to catch, but not drying out my skin. Long-term wise, I think this does rival any other powder that has survived in my collection long term, which is always good, right? So yeah, I really do like this powder. This will definitely make it into my top drawer, or at least, in literally that's where these products are in my collection, literally the top drawer. And yeah, that's always a good sign. I love when I don't waste my money because If you've been with your girl for a long time, you know your girl has wasted some money. There have been many products that I've picked up and I've not liked, and I just immediately kind of declutter her. So I'm very happy that I was able to find that product, and I'm glad that I took the time to really think over whether it was necessary for me to pick up. And that kind of brings me to how I'm vibing. I feel like every 2 seconds I'm always kind of talking to you guys about my next steps, etc. I just realized I didn't get a bronzer. Let me see if I have a bronzer that I have not reviewed. I don't see one. I also don't have my glasses. Oh, is that my sponge? No, that's a top. Let's see. So I don't have very many cream bronzers actually, so we're just gonna reach for my Rare Beauty. And that brings me to something that I haven't posted it yet, but I did do like a declutter on pretty much everything in my makeup collection except for my eyeshadow palettes. And that hasn't come up on the channel, mainly because I think the footage is absolutely terrible from what I could kind of deduce in my own application or kind of attempt to film it. My filming setup really isn't where it's now, and to be fair, this is not my best filming setup either, but I found that as sad as it is, filming is not my number one release as it used to be. It used to be, and then, you know, a lot of friends around here really, they love to hang out, and so that has become, you know, my number one way that I relax in a way, because I still do need to kind of decompress in my own. So I do need to look at that footage, and if I look at it and it actually looks halfway decent, I will try my absolute best to get that up very, very soon so you guys can see what my collection currently looks like and how it's being stored. I think out of all the ways that I've stored my makeup, I really like that I pretty much have all of my makeup in this dresser or this desk right now. And if you did not know, I have one of those like IKEA tabletops and like the 2 drawer setup under it. I really like this setup. I will be slightly changing it soon, hopefully, if I can get myself to an IKEA. It's just unfortunately the closest IKEA to me is in Charlotte. I could have it delivered here, but I really want to see some other things that are perfect for the holiday season, so I want to actually go to the IKEA. But regardless of that, I'm really happy with this, so stay tuned for that. And because I did so much decluttering and my makeup is in multiple different spots, the only cream stick I saw just now was the Rare Beauty On the Horizon stick. If you know me, I absolutely love that stick, so there's really not much to talk about there. I am just gonna reach for this. This is the Yummy Skin like cream blush in the shade Dancing Queen. If memory serves me correctly, this was actually a shade from last holiday. If you're very familiar with my channel, you will know I pretty much like ghosted after last holiday. I stuck to really uploading and trying to do as good as I could. And then after last holiday, I pretty much was gone. You really couldn't find me very consistently posting on my channel. So there's so much holiday from last year that I never actually gave you guys my final thoughts, including this kit that I got all of the Nessa Myrick stuff. I absolutely love that kit, in case there was even any shadow of a doubt. Absolutely love them. All the colors are great. And so this will just prove as that kind of full encompassing review. This is a fantastic color. As you can see, it's very, very pigmented. I really didn't put that much on my sponge, and I had to pretty much douse it down and kind of calm it down with the side that has my foundation. I will then go ahead and reinforce everything with my powder, and let's just go ahead and do that. We're gonna go ahead and reinforce it again with this Fenty powder. And in case I did not mention, this brush that I'm using is actually from Singe Beauty. I've seen that Angelica Niquis has posted and like created so many more products, and I love that for her. I haven't had the time to really sit down and like look at what she has created since I've kind of stepped away from YouTube and truly just buying makeup in general. But I'm so happy to see that her business is still doing well, and that she is still kind of continuing to keep that momentum and to have that love of makeup in general, that she's still creating more products. So let's go ahead. My lips feel super dry, but I really want to go ahead and set my face a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and use this e.l.f. Power Gripping Spray. I'm pretty sure I talked about, that got in my mouth. Nasty. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I talked about this in the review in which I talked about all of the e.l.f. products when I picked them up. But this is a really good spray. I find that it does really well at setting my makeup and making sure it lasts very long. Especially, this is really important for me in the zones that I really don't put powder on, specifically this cheek area. As you saw, I really didn't put any powder on there. The only reason I will reach for powder if I want to calm down the color. And as you can see, it still is quite pigmented. I don't mind that. I may go ahead and brush with a very big brush. Let's see. This one happens to be from Wayne Goss. It's just the first brush that I saw that was pretty big. My brushes, along with everything, is kind of really all over the place. But what I will do is I will just do a very light dusting just to calm down some of that color. I do want, obviously, people to see that I have that colored blush on, but it was kind of very strong. That said, as you guys know, the camera really picks up on color a lot more than in person. In person, I really don't see it being that pigmented as it shows in camera. I will also be showcasing finishing powder, so that might also dumb it down a little bit, specifically, like I said, just for video. So now that my face is really setting, let's go ahead and do my brows. So my brow routine is pretty short, simple, to the point. I really don't like to overcomplicate things if I do not have to. I usually have one pencil that I will fill my brows in. Whether I enjoy the pencil at the time or not, that's up for debate, but I usually will do a pencil product and a gel product. This is one of my favorite gels that I have found to date, once again from e.l.f. Very affordable. To be fair, I actually hate this expensive pencil, and this is from Benefit. This is their volumizing pencil. I just don't like it. I don't like that pretty much after you sharpened it once or even used it once, it's now completely dull. It's really not very sharp at all, and I have a fantastic sharpener. I also just don't like how it is an actual pencil. I usually will reach for pencil type products, specifically with like lip liners. I think that that's just a better way to get the product onto my face. But I am finding with this product that I think it's very dull. I'm finding with this product specifically, because it was the first time that I bought something that was an actual pencil for my brows, that I prefer, I just lost the whole tip. I prefer roll-up products for my brows. And you know, sometimes you have to kind of waste your money or kind of be in that moment where you hate a product to learn that, because otherwise I would have never learned, because there was never a product that was in a pencil format that I wanted to try. But I really wanted to try a different delivery system, and just the formula here. The formula just sounded so interesting, and it was something that I really wanted to give a go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in my brows. Like I said, I like to do a pencil first. That's actually quite pigmented. I guess I haven't sharpened this in some time, so I haven't really gotten this amount of pigment delivered to my brows. And if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I'm looking on the side where I have my mirror, which is quite dusty, in case you are wondering. I am notorious for never cleaning my mirrors. Absolutely notorious. But this is very pigmented. Not a bad thing, just something to note. I will always go through again with the spoolie associated with whatever pencil I have, just so that my brows don't look as stark as they do, because right now all of the hairs are really concentrated in that area, and I really filled it in with this pencil. Then I'm going to go ahead and use my gel, and I find that this gel, or any gel, in the way that I use it, I like it to kind of fluff up the brows a little bit more and really just calm the color that I filled them in down just a little bit. And I will show you what I mean in just a second. As you can see, this brow looks fluffier, less pigmented, and I find a little bit more natural and kind of native to my skin tone and my face in general. Whereas this one is just very stark. This is giving, to me, this brow is giving a little bit closer to the 2016, 15 brow dip brow that we used to all covet. Goodness, those are years I could go back and haunt myself just trying to do my makeup like that. But I just like to kind of make it look very fluffy as much as possible. And I find that this brow gel is really good at doing that. But not even just that. Once I use it, my brow hairs stay in the spot that I put them. And that is super important. One thing I could hate is when I go through the effort of doing what I'm doing here in my home and then I go out and everything just changes. I don't like that at all. And I'm not somebody who carries things around. Once I put it on my face, it's there. Whether it lasts for a long time or not, it's up for the world to have to deal with. Because at that point, I'm not looking at myself, so I don't care. Lip product. I'm going to use an Old Faithful. This is my Makeup Forever. What shade is this? I haven't used it in so long, I forgot. Limitless Brown. Okay, I just wanted to go ahead and fill in my whole lip because the product that I have isn't going to really give me that much pigment. Okay, and then once again, another e.l.f. product that I'm going to be using. And this is, I believe, their lip oil. So if you're wondering my opinions and my textures that I'm looking for in a lot of these very famous or popular names when it comes to lip products such as lip oils, lip balms, liquid lipsticks, etc. I have done a video. It is quite old now, but I still have the same thoughts. And with those thoughts in mind, this to me doesn't really give what I want. There is a lot of kind of wet water feeling when I immediately put these on my lips, which isn't a bad thing. At this point now, pretty much after I immediately applied it, I no longer feel that feeling. I do find that this does give me a immediate burst of moisture to my lips, which is definitely something that I appreciate. But I find that because it has that like water-based feel, it really doesn't last very long. As you can see, my lips look nice and juicy and everything like that. I promise you, if I were to film like another 2 or 3 videos, that product would no longer be there and I would need to have filled in my lips like I did with the Makeup Forever lip liner, which is why I did it, because I already know my kind of thoughts on that lip oil. I just find that it just evaporates quite quickly. But we're gonna keep going. Now I want to do a little something with my eyes. I'm not gonna do too much. That has been my motto. Very simple, easy eye looks, and I've enjoyed it. I really have. It makes my life very easy, whether I'm putting makeup on for work or whether I'm putting makeup on really quickly to run out and hang out with some friends. So a product I don't believe I've reviewed for you guys is this Juvia's Place eyeshadow stick in Nile. This is a shade that I immediately gravitated to out of their whole collection because I had a lipstick in the shade Nile and I absolutely loved it. The only reason I got rid of it is because it did not hold very well. I don't even think I had it for more than a year and it was already expired. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this all over my eyelid. I usually like to keep it straight on the eyelid and then I will blend it up into the crease after I've applied it. I find that this is a really nice powder shadow. I don't find that this kind of can knock down my favorite. My favorite shadow formulation is actually the Jane Iredale formulation. I love how it has the silicone, so it feels like it's really a nice slip where my powders, if I apply powder on top, can really slip through. This one isn't bad. It's definitely just like a good solid product, but I wouldn't say that you have to run out to get it. That said, it is an affordable version of the Jane Iredale. Like I said, it just doesn't have that silicone slip to her. So as you can see, it pretty much looks like my skin tone, maybe a little bit warmer in that zone if you really take the time to look. But I absolutely love using these shadow sticks to really just blank out my eyelids, and it really helps because my eyelids are one of the oiliest parts of my body. I don't know what it is about them, but when I put makeup on, skincare on, it doesn't really matter, and my oils really start to activate, I have to wipe my eyes so much because the oils literally, it just becomes too much. So anyways, now that we've done that, I just want to also talk about a shadow from last year's holiday. And this is Charlotte Tilbury's Pop Shot in Rose Gold. I have a feeling I reviewed this product, but this was still in like I said, I went from really being active on uploading and then kind of ghosted. And so I really don't know what I reviewed and what I didn't review. And for me, I always find it's always better to over talk about things and explain things than to never talk about them. So like I said, this is the shade in Rose Gold from Charlotte Tilbury. The way I like to use these shadows right now is I will just lightly put them in my inner corner, and depending on how I feel, I'll blend them out to a certain extent on my lid. And that's pretty much it. This combination really works well because the Juvia's Place is sticky enough that this glitter will adhere. Not glitter, it's really just shimmer, will adhere. But it's also not too dry that it will just kind of flake off. It's a really good combination. Whether you use these particular products or you use products that you already have, I definitely recommend giving it a shot. It's really, really nice. I don't tend to put it all over my whole eye because I find it just makes my eye look smaller than I want it to. And I always want to kind of give my eyes a big, voluminous look. So I always try to kind of make sure that this side is just not over encompassing. This is the one from Kulfi. I don't know if they're still at Sephora. I don't know if they still have this shade, but the Kulfi eyeliners are really, really good. If you want a drugstore alternative, I highly recommend the LA Girl eyeliners. I really love them. I find that they apply very easily to my eyeline and they stay. And I have quite watery eyeliner. So let me just do my upper lash so you can see the difference between my eyes. Okay, so can you see how this eye just looks more open, wider, more awake than this eye? Another trick, depending on what you're trying to do with your eye, is to take a black eyeliner, put that in your water or your tight line up top, and then in your waterline put white. That helps you to look more awake. This can help not only with the wake, in my opinion, but also with my eyes just looking bigger. I find that this eye looks bigger and just more alive and in charge. So I'm going to do that on both eyes. I'm also going to go ahead and take this mascara. I think I moved my mascaras around again and it's fine. Thankfully, Tower 28 was generous enough to send me this. This is their eyeliner or their mascara in Jet. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this eyeliner on the other eye, and then I'm going to apply mascara as well. And I also just realized that a lot of people always assume people know how to put on mascara. I don't know if I put it on the correct way, the makeup artist way, the way that they teach you, but I can show you how I put it on in case you are interested. So this is a new tube. So new tubes to me always take a little while to get to the phase that I want, but I will say I really do love this makeup. But I will say that I really do love this Tower 28 mascara. It's really, really nice. It has a plastic doe foot and it's a slight curve, which I find really helps me to lift my lashes and just coat all of my lashes. My lashes don't tend to droop down that. So I find that this works perfectly fine for me. If you have lashes that are naturally straight or even downward facing, I would recommend an eyeshadow curler. I'm just very thankful my eyelashes are naturally very curly and very curved, so I don't have to worry about that. So what I'm gonna do is just take the mascara. I always like to clean off whatever's at the tip of the actual wand. You will find that the longer you have a mascara, the more goopy that part gets, and if you don't, I can promise you will put that mascara somewhere on your eyeshadow look, on your lashes, in your eye, anything. It happens so often. So always clean the top of your mascara. I'm sure you see all of the influencers do that. I highly recommend you do that. Anyways though, what I like to do, and I will zoom in editing so you guys can really see, because unfortunately this is the closest that this lens lets me get. What I like to do is just open your eyes and look to the side. If you have a problem like poking your eye or even getting anywhere near your eye, I recommend you look to the side while the wand is forward coming towards you. That way you don't actually see the wand coming, and hopefully you can kind of keep your eye open. So I look to the side and I start with my upper lashes, and at the very outer lashes, and I'm just coating. Now, you cannot expect to get everything, like your lashes, where you want in that first coat. So take your time, and you can feel free to do that. I also will like to kind of separate my lashes if I feel like they're getting a little too clumpy. And to do that, just take the wand and go backwards. That's it. And I like to just do a quick look. Sometimes I'll blink, and if you blink and keep the wand where it is, that'll have your lashes go through as well. So all the little techniques until you get to the itty bitty lashes. And once again, if I want to separate my lashes there again, I will just go forward instead of going back, because back will take them back into where there's already more lashes with already mascara as well. Even with that one coat, you can see the drastic difference. Next, I will then take my wand and I'll go inside where my lashes are. So like I said, my lashes curve up. So I will take the wand and get closer to my shadow, my eyeshadow shadow, get closer to my eyeshadow. And then what I will do is kind of only move the wand. I'll keep my eye like slightly closed and I'll scoop the wand up. So I'll show you, get on the lash line. So my wand is actually on the lashes, and I'll just roll her up, roll her up, roll her up. Now I do that specifically because I kind of want to bring my lashes a little bit further down, but I also find that it's nice to coat my lashes on both sides. And then whenever I'm happy with that first layer, I'll be done, and I'll take whatever is left on my wand. I will not get more liquid or more, I will not go back into the doe foot or the, what is this? The container yet. And I will just apply directly what's on my lower lash line. That happens, and I do that because I actually don't want that much on my lower lash line. I find that if I get too much on the wand when I'm doing my lower lash line, it goes all over my skin, and that's not where I want the mascara. I want the mascara on the lashes. Now, as you can see, there wasn't much left. Once again, this is a new tube, so it's going to take a little while for it to get this perfect amount onto the wand for me to do that whole step. Plus, I was talking, so that slows down the process, and the mascara that was on there will actually dry out. But that's pretty much the routine. What I will do is I will then let this dry, and while I'm letting it dry, I will go to the other eye, and I will take a new dunk and I will go ahead and do the other eye. And then once that happens, I'll put the wand back into the container and I will do one last coat on this eye. What I will say is, if you find that you're recoating one eye and it's too dry and like the mascara is not catching, one, ask yourself, how long have you had this mascara open? Because the mascara might be too dry to kind of reapply on itself. Two, what type of mascara is it? If it's a tubing mascara or kind of a more traditional mascara, that could also play a part. And then three, you might just have too much on your eyelashes. And so in that case, I would say just chill out. If you feel like you need more volume, I would highly recommend just do one application of that said mascara and then just put on some lashes. The lashes will get you where you want immediately. And then you actually can take more time and have more uses of your mascara. It just really depends. But I would not say to have too much time in between your applications. Like right now for me, I feel like I can already go ahead and just reapply for this one eye. And really when I'm doing my second coat, I'm really just trying to get closer to the lash line and just add more volume there, because I've already gotten the length that I can get. I've already worked on that. Now I'm just working on the volume and making sure my lashes really just are emphasized. I forgot to tell you how I do my lower lash line. I'm so sorry. So what wand is left on, or what product is still left on the wand, I scrunch my face down so I feel like there's nothing kind of in the way. Whether that's actually a factual thing, I don't know. Science is still a hard subject for me sometimes. So anyways though, scrunch your face down and then just tease that way for the outer lashes, and then for the inner lashes, I will tease this way. And you're really just kind of doing a zigzag on the actual lashes just to coat the product. Now, as you can see, now you can probably actually see my lower lashes because I actually had enough product and I didn't take too much more time. So for me, that once again, what I see after that first application, I never say that's a done deal or feel I don't ever feel like it's a done deal or feel too concerned about it because I know I'm going to be going back and doing another layer. So this is what my mascara usually looks like when I'm done. This is why I absolutely love the Tower 28 mascara. I go from not having any lashes to actually having lashes, and my lashes are nicely defined. I get a nice amount of volume and a nice amount of length as well. So these are some things, of course, depending on the shape of the head or of the doe foot or the wand, that will determine kind of what the main purpose of that mascara is. So when you get those more hourglass mascaras, those are typically more going to give you volume. So you're going to have more of that like clumpiness that you saw me really emphasize and try to aim for in that second layer. For me, I find that it's easiest to just get something that's more targeted towards lengthening and then using my techniques in my application to get the volume that I want. I have learned that over the 6 years, that is the best way in application for me to get the best of both worlds, other than just getting more expensive mascara such as the Lancome mascara or some other ones that I find really do a great job. So these are my tips and tricks when it comes to mascara. I'm just gonna hop off and actually finish my second eye because clearly I haven't done that. And then only thing I have to show you guys is my finishing powder. So give me 1 second, let me do that, and then we'll take the bonnet off because I gotta show you guys a finished look. So just give me 1 second. I was gonna come back and be all dolled up and ready with my hair done, but I realized when I got a closer look when I was not filming that I did get some mascara on my shadow. And so in the event that you put mascara, whether you accidentally tap the one on your face or whether you put it on your shadow, there is a technique that you can use. And once again, I feel like a lot of people just assume that beginners know or whoever is watching them knows, and sometimes you don't. So I want to go ahead and show you guys this technique now. What I would suggest is getting a spoolie. It doesn't matter if this is attached to your brow product or whatever. I would recommend it being cleaner rather than dirtier, just so that you don't mess it up even further. But what you want to do is make sure that that mascara dries. Don't fret, don't freak out. Let the mascara dry wherever it is, whether you think it's in the absolute worst spot in your life or whether it's in a spot that just is a little inconvenient and maybe makes it look like you have a mole. So for me, like I said, it's on my lash line, and I actually did see some on this eyeline, so I'll show you. What you do is you just close your eyes and just lightly brush your spoolie right over it. That's it. It will just flake off that product because the mascara pretty much dries down like a flake pretty much in spots that it shouldn't, and you can just flake it off. It's very simple, very easy, no fuss, no muss. I'm just gonna wait for this eye to continue to dry because I did just finish this eye and I saw how bad I did on this eye, and then I looked and this one still had some as well. This is something that I still do all the time. It's a thing that I'm really unfussed by anymore, but I just want to just pop on really quickly to show you guys that technique in case it is something that you're concerned with. Don't worry, it's not ruined. And if for whatever reason your eyeshadow flakes off too, or maybe your foundation or your blush or wherever you applied flakes off too, just take your shadow. So for me, I used this Charlotte Tilbury shadow and just tap her right back in that spot. And there you go. Good as new. There's no issues, no concerns. You did what you needed to do. So I'm gonna hop off for real this time, and then I'll come back to show you guys the finished look where your girl is looking saucy. Okay guys, so this is what the look is looking like right now. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Now, last thing I want to do is go ahead and pull out this LYS finishing powder in the shade Courage. Now, this wasn't the shade that I would have wanted. The brand actually did send this to me, but the shade that I wanted was sold out. So let's talk about this product. First of all, like I said, it's not the shade what I wanted. And I find that finishing powders are typically a step that I just cannot be bothered to do. I find that, yes, they add like a little jazz to your face, but overall, it just seems like an unnecessary amount of work to remember to reach for them just to kind of get a nice kind of glazed shellac type look. And what I will say is this, I have tended to reach for this on the off chance that I find that my base doesn't really look like it should. So let's say just now I felt like my base looked very orange, very yellow, not orange, very yellow based. So I decided to reach for this LYS, of course, one because I'm demonstrating, but if I wasn't demonstrating to you guys, I would have reached for that just so that I didn't have such a yellow tint or hue to my face overall. It's very weird. I've never had that happen to me. I don't know where I went wrong, but I went wrong somewhere today. But I digress. Either way, that's really the only reason why I reached for this. Now, once again, like I said, this isn't the right shade. So maybe if this was the right shade, I would reach for it very often, but I don't typically reach for finishing powders because typically once I put my powder on, I'm done. I don't feel the need or the urge to reach for it again. I will say finishing powders, once again, is a good way to kind of get all of your products to really meld together. So as you saw earlier, I had a very impactful blush on my cheeks, and throughout things that I did off camera and then on camera, it's really melded into my face and it really looks like one. It doesn't look as impactful and as harsh as it did before. So there's another reason why you could use the finishing powder. Do I think this is a good powder? Yes. Is this something that I'm personally going to reach for a lot? No. But am I happy to have it? Yes, because like I said, had I been to this point today and I wasn't filming, I would have reached for something because I saw how yellow your girl's face was. So that's it. That's all she wrote. I'm really happy that I was able to come up with this look. I hope that the reviews, whether great or not so great, were thorough and impactful. And just to emphasize something that I said earlier in the video, the e.l.f. lip gloss, completely gone. You don't see any, this is a lip oil. You really don't see any of it sitting. And I really like oils that sit on my lips and last for a very long time, at minimum a couple of hours. And yes, I've been filming for about an hour now, on and off, but it hasn't been that long for it to really have evaporated off of my mouth. And I haven't been talking all that much. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely go ahead and comment down below if there's anything that you would like to see. As of yet, I have not done any shopping for the Sephora VIB sale, and I really do need to get that done. I will be making probably one online order. I just don't have the time to go in person. We'll see. I might stop by today in person, as I might be leaving my apartment. It just depends on when my friend decides to come and pick up the things, because I'd rather make sure I'm available for her today than do any shopping, because your girl needs to save money, as I'm sure you guys do too. So yeah, anyways, I would love to hear down below if there's any type of video that you would want to see from me. I do have quite a few items stacking up in my empties bin, and although I'm not doing a formal project pan this year, maybe I'll start a new one for next year. So definitely keep the ideas churning. We're so close to the end of this year that yes, you can go ahead and tell me anything that you would like to see for next year, and I will put that in my pin, because I'm getting more consistent. And I think that this, hopefully my life won't change too drastically, work-wise and personal-wise, that I can't keep out my routine that I have going now. There is a hair right here, and that's so inconvenient. It's so inconvenient. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.